If you're over 50 and watching this video, you probably know that feeling all too well. The little hesitation in your knees when you step out of bed in the morning, or how your fingers don't seem as nimble as they used to be when you twist open a bottle. I'm Dr. David Warren, 60 years old, and after more than 3 decades working with patients who struggle with arthritis, I've discovered something that surprises a lot of people. Your joint health isn't controlled only by medication. It's influenced every single day by the food you put on your plate. And what shocks my patients the most is this. There's one food almost everyone assumes is bad, something they try to avoid. Yet it actually contains nutrients that are incredibly valuable for your bones, cartilage, and immune system. That food is cheese. I remember one morning when a 67-year-old patient named Linda looked at me and asked, "Doctor, I heard cheese causes inflammation. Is that true?" I smiled and told her, "Linda, the problem isn't cheese. It's the type of cheese you choose. Because the truth is, some cheeses are naturally rich in calcium, some contain enzymes that help repair connective tissue, and others are loaded with probiotics that support gut health. And when your gut is healthier, inflammation throughout your body drops. Certain cheeses even provide omega-3s, vitamin K2, and high-quality protein, all of which help your joints move more smoothly, reduce swelling, and slow down degeneration. I've seen patients improve within just a few weeks once they know how to choose the right kinds. A 72-year-old gentleman once told me, "Doctor, I only added a little cheese to my meals each day, and my knees feel lighter already." That's not magic, that's nutrition science. But I also need to warn you, not every cheese is good for your joints. Not every way of eating cheese is beneficial. Many people make the mistake of thinking all cheeses are the same, or that more is better. The result? More swelling, more stiffness, more discomfort. Then they assume they don't tolerate cheese. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 cheeses that support joint health the most, based on clinical experience, scientific research, and hundreds of real-world cases from adults over 50. I'll also show you how to use them correctly. Right portion, right timing, right combinations with anti-inflammatory foods. Stay with me until the end, because I'll share a very special story about a patient who regained the ability to go on long walks again, thanks to one small change in his breakfast routine. But before we dive into the 5 golden cheeses, we need to understand something important. Why do joints become inflamed, swollen, and stiff? And what role does nutrition actually play? When I tell patients, your joints aren't hurting because you're old, they usually open their eyes wide like I just told them something impossible. But it's the truth. After 30+ years in medicine, I've learned that age is just a small piece of the puzzle. The real issue is your lifestyle, your eating habits, the silent inflammation happening inside your body, and the nutrients you've been missing for years. Think of your joints as biological hinges that help you move through life. Walking, sitting, standing, bending, reaching. Over time, those hinges start to dry out due to reduced natural lubrication, wear down as cartilage slowly gets damaged, get attacked by chronic inflammation. That chronic inflammation is why your joints feel stiff in the morning, why your knees ache when you go upstairs, and why you hear little cracks and pops when you stand up. The unfortunate truth is that many people focus only on painkillers, while ignoring the way their daily diet is quietly fueling inflammation. Too much refined sugar, not enough high-quality protein, low levels of bone-protective minerals, lack of vitamin K2, the nutrient that guides calcium to your bones. Too few foods that support the gut microbiome. Too many unhealthy fats that spike inflammation. And here's something most people don't realize. Your immune system and digestive system directly influence your joints. I once treated a 58-year-old man with rheumatoid arthritis. After adjusting his diet, especially adding foods rich in enzymes, probiotics, and bioavailable calcium, his morning stiffness dropped by nearly half within 3 months. He told me, "Doctor, I always thought joint pain was just something unavoidable. Turns out, I was just missing the right nutrients." Which brings me to a crucial point. The quality of the protein, minerals, and fats you eat every single day can determine your inflammation levels. And that's why certain cheeses can have such a powerful effect on joint health. They contain easily absorbable organic calcium. Some deliver probiotics that reduce gut-driven inflammation. A few are rich in vitamin K2, vital for bone strength. They provide protein that repairs tissues. Some offer omega-3s when sourced from grass-fed milk. But remember, only some cheeses do this. Choose the wrong ones and inflammation gets worse, not better. So what's the actual mechanism? Why does nutrition go straight to your joints? Let's take a deeper look. 1. Joint inflammation doesn't start in the joints. Most patients think pain is local. Modern science says otherwise. Chronic pain often starts from gut microbiome, imbalance, oxidative stress, weakened internal anti-inflammatory pathways, degeneration of connective tissue over time. When the gut loses balance, especially lacking probiotics, it produces inflammatory compounds that enter your bloodstream and trigger inflammation, especially in areas already weakened. That's why many patients tell me, "Doctor, I didn't even eat anything unusual, but my joints still hurt." Because the root cause isn't yesterday's meal, it's years of immune and digestive imbalance. 2. Bone and cartilage nutrition must be in the right form and ratio. Eating calcium alone won't strengthen your bones. This is a common misconception. To get calcium where it needs to go, your body needs vitamin K2, directs calcium into bones, away from arteries. Phosphorus pairs with calcium for bone structure. Magnesium controls inflammation and vitamin D function. Vitamin D helps intestines absorb calcium. High-quality protein repairs cartilage and connective tissue. And here's what's fascinating. Some cheeses naturally contain these nutrients in highly absorbable ratios. Cheese isn't just fat and salt like people think. Certain cheeses are rich in natural enzymes, are naturally fermented, great for the gut, contain complete proteins, offer anti-inflammatory fatty acids, contain MK4, the most usable form of vitamin K2. Few foods pack such targeted nutrition in one place. 3. Probiotics and joint pain, a connection most don't know about. I used to think probiotics were just for digestion. 20 years of research changed my mind. Studies now show 70% of your immune activity sits in your gut. Probiotics reduce cytokines, inflammatory compounds. Some strains actively support cartilage repair, healthier gut, less inflammation, less joint pain. Some naturally fermented cheeses contain live probiotics your body can use immediately. 4. Healthy fats in cheese reduce inflammation, not increase it. I've heard hundreds of patients say, "Doctor, I avoid cheese because it's fatty." But that's a misunderstanding. Joint-friendly cheeses contain short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs, conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, omega-3s from grass-fed milk. These fats lower inflammation, support cartilage, improve joint lubrication, help tissues repair. People over 50 especially need these fats to keep cartilage cushioned. 5. Why not all cheeses are good? Because industrial cheeses are packed with salt. Processed cheese slices contain hydrogenated oils. Many have additives and preservatives. Cheese-like products offer almost no nutrition. Choose wrong. More stiffness, more inflammation, more weight gain. Choose right. Less swelling, smoother movement, stronger bones. Now that you understand the science, let's look at the 5 cheeses that truly support joint health based on real clinical outcomes in adults over 50. 5. Ricotta, gentle protein that feeds your joints. Ricotta doesn't stand out for strong flavor. It stands out for its pure, easy-to-digest protein. For adults over 50, that's a huge advantage because protein absorption slows with age, reduced muscle mass, puts more pressure on joints' cartilage, and tendons need amino acids to repair. Ricotta provides whey protein rich in leucine, soft, easily usable calcium magnesium to reduce stiffness, vitamin A for connective tissue, soft fats that improve joint lubrication. Many people don't realize the natural fats in ricotta actually improve joint fluid quality, helping your joints glide smoothly. How I recommend using it: ricotta plus berries, blueberries, cherries. Ricotta on whole grain toast, ricotta mixed with chia seeds before bed. Ricotta helps patients feel lighter in their joints, especially those who lack protein intake. 4. Feta, bone-building minerals and gut-healing probiotics. Many patients think feta is too salty, but traditional feta made from sheep or goat milk offers live probiotics, calcium, phosphorus, zinc in natural ratios, CLA, and anti-inflammatory fatty acid, peptides that support gut health. What I love most about feta is its gut-supporting power, which lowers inflammation across the entire body. Healthy gut, balanced immunity, less joint pain, reduced swelling. Another bonus, sheep and goat milk have naturally lower lactose, making feta more digestible for older adults. How I recommend using it: sprinkle 1 to 2 tablespoons over dark leafy salads, pair it with cucumbers or tomatoes, mix it with extra virgin olive oil to boost CLA absorption. Within a few weeks, patients typically report less morning stiffness, less hot inflammation around the knees. 3. Cottage cheese, selenium plus protein, deep inflammation relief. Cottage cheese is the quiet hero when it comes to joint nutrition. I choose it for 2 big reasons. 1. Natural selenium. Selenium helps to reduce oxidative stress inside your cartilage, protect collagen from damage, calm inflammation at the cellular level. Many arthritis patients have surprisingly low selenium levels, and cottage cheese is one of the easiest ways to top it up. 2. Slow digesting casein protein. This type of protein feeds your muscles for many hours, helps older adults slow down muscle loss, takes some of the load off your joints. How I usually prescribe it: cottage cheese plus pineapple for bromelain, a powerful anti-inflammatory combo. Cottage cheese plus a cucumber plus walnuts, a great afternoon snack. Cottage cheese plus oatmeal when you need steady energy. Many patients tell me their joints feel more stable after just 2-3 weeks. 2. Swiss cheese. Vitamin K2, the gatekeeper of calcium. Swiss cheese, like Emmental, Gruyere, and others, is special because it contains vitamin K2 in the MK4 form, zinc, naturally fermented probiotics. Complete protein. Throughout my career, I've always thought of vitamin K2 as the gatekeeper of calcium. Without K2, calcium can end up in the wrong place, sticking to your arteries instead of strengthening your bones. K2 helps to drive calcium into your bones, slow down bone loss, stabilize collagen, support the formation of new bone cells. Swiss cheese is also lower in salt than many other cheeses, which makes it a great option for people who have joint inflammation and high blood pressure. How to use it: Swiss cheese plus whole grain cereal or bread. Swiss in a sandwich with plenty of leafy greens. Swiss with grapes to balance the flavor. If someone is low in K2, they often notice their joints feel smoother after about 4 to 6 weeks of using it correctly. Wonton Parmesan, fermented peptides, plus concentrated minerals for joint repair. Parmesan, real Parmigiano Reggiano, is at the top of my list because of 1. Highly concentrated minerals, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, zinc. These are the building blocks for bones and connective tissue. 2. Bioactive peptides. Years of aging create special peptides that can lower inflammatory cytokines, protect cartilage support, soft tissue repair, reduce pain with movement. This is extremely important for anyone over 50. 3. Almost no lactose. Older adults digest it easily without the bloating that many other dairy products can cause. 4. Strong flavor, tiny amount needed. Because the flavor is so intense, you only need a little. That means patients get the benefits without taking in too many extra calories. How I usually recommend using it: sprinkle over roasted vegetables. Stir into hot soup so it melts slightly. Use as a topping on whole grain dishes. Many patients have told me, "Doctor, I just added 1 spoon of Parmesan a day and my knees feel noticeably lighter." 5 cheeses, 5 different mechanisms, but they all point toward the same goal: less inflammation, better nourished joints, and healthier connective tissue. Now, what you need to know is, how much should you eat? When should you eat it for best results? And what should you combine it with to multiply the benefits threefold? Knowing which cheese is good is only the first step. What matters even more is how you use it. Over the years, I've seen very clearly that the power of food doesn't just come from nutrients, it comes from timing, dosage, and combinations. Here are the guidelines I usually give my patients, especially those over 50 who are starting to feel pain, swelling, or morning stiffness in their joints. 1. Eat cheese at the right time so your joints hurt less. Your body handles fat and protein better in the morning and early afternoon. That's when your digestive enzymes are most active. Your body uses protein to repair tissue. You store less fat compared to late at night. Prime time window, 7 a.m., 2 p.m. This is when you want to bring in cheeses like Parmesan, Swiss, or cottage cheese, so you absorb them well without feeling heavy. Ricotta can work nicely in the evening because it's light and easy to digest. 2. Combine cheese with anti-inflammatory foods to double the benefits. Cheese by itself is helpful, but when you pair it properly, the benefits can go up 2 to 3 times. I usually tell my patients to combine cheese with dark leafy greens, kale, spinach, arugula, extra virgin olive oil berries, blueberries, raspberries, cherries, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, almonds, tomatoes. Lycopene helps lower inflammation. Cucumbers helps reduce fluid-related puffiness. Beets improve blood flow. These foods add antioxidants, vitamins, and flavonoids that help calm deep inflammation inside the joints. 3. How much is enough per day? In clinical practice, this is the safe guideline I use for people over 50. Ricotta, 2 to 4 tablespoons. Feta, 1 to 2 tablespoons sprinkled on food. Cottage cheese, 2 to 1 cup. Swiss cheese, 1 to 2 thin slices. Parmesan, 1 to 2 small spoonfuls. You really don't need more. Total cheese per day, maximum, 30-45 grams for people who are overweight or have severe arthritis. 50-60 great for those with a stable, healthy weight. Eating more won't make your joints heal faster. It just increases calories and can lead to weight gain, one of the biggest factors that makes arthritis worse. 4. Drink enough water when you eat cheese. Some patients ask me, "Doctor, why do my joints feel stiffer when I eat cheese?" Most of the time, it's because they're not drinking enough water. Cheese is rich in protein and minerals, so your body needs water to transport nutrients, lubricate tissues, maintain healthy joint fluid. Aim for at least 6 to 8 glasses of water a day, especially if you're eating aged cheeses or cottage cheese regularly. 5. Common mistakes to avoid. I always remind my patients, don't eat cheese with white bread, instant noodles, or fried foods. Avoid processed cheese products, cheese spreads, processed slices. Don't load up on cheese late at night, except for a bit of ricotta. Don't think, if I eat a lot, the pain will go away faster. Remember, cheese helps when you eat it right, not when you eat a lot. 6. Add vitamin D and K2 to get the best results for your bones and joints. If your body is low in vitamin D or K2, calcium won't be absorbed properly and bone quality will suffer. You can combine 15-20 minutes of gentle morning sunlight, vitamin D3, around 1,000-2,000 IU if your doctor agrees. K2, MK7, around 5,100 mcg. When you have the trio of calcium plus vitamin D plus K2, your bones can rebuild much more effectively. Now that you know how to use each type of cheese in real life, I want to share a very special story. A story that reminds me why I chose this profession in the first place. I'd like you to meet Harold, a 74-year-old patient I'm very fond of. 2 years ago, he walked into my office with a slow, careful gait, one hand constantly pressed on his knee, as if one wrong step might trigger a protest from his joints. He spoke in a tired, slightly embarrassed tone. "Doctor, I don't feel confident walking with my wife anymore. After just a few minutes, my knees heat up, like someone's tightening a rope inside them." Harold had worked as a carpenter for more than 40 years. His hands and knees had carried a lifetime of weight. But what hurt him most wasn't the pain itself. It was slowly giving up the little routines he and his wife used to share, like their evening walks together. I examined him, looked at his diet, and asked him one simple question. "Harold, are you getting enough protein and minerals every day?" He laughed and said, "Doc, I just eat whatever's easy to swallow. When you hurt this much, nothing really tastes good." After going through everything carefully, I realized he had long-standing protein deficiency, low K2, low magnesium, low probiotics, all the things his joints desperately needed. So I gave him a simple plan, not a complicated meal schedule, not a handful of pills. Just 3 small changes. Add ricotta to breakfast 3 times a week. Sprinkle a little Parmesan over cooked vegetables. Use cottage cheese with fruit whenever he needed a snack. Everything else I told him to keep exactly the same. 3 weeks later, he came back. This time I noticed he walked faster. His hand wasn't gripping his knee anymore. He looked at me and said, "I don't know what's happening, but it's much easier to get out of bed in the morning. I don't have to wait a few minutes for my knees to unlock anymore." My wife says I look younger. I explained that his body was finally getting the raw materials it needed to repair itself. Light, easy proteins, minerals in the right form, anti-inflammatory fats, and probiotics from naturally fermented cheeses. 6 weeks later, Harold surprised me again. He handed me a photo of himself and his wife walking in the park, both of them smiling. He said, "Doctor, I know I can't go back to being 30 again, but if I can hold my wife's hand and walk with her every evening without fearing a sudden flare of pain, that's more than enough for me." Moments like that remind me of something I deeply believe. The true power of nutrition doesn't lie in big, flashy changes. It lives in small, steady, consistent ones. And sometimes, just one spoonful of the right cheese can change a whole part of someone's life. If you feel that what I've shared today has been helpful for your health, I'd really love to hear from you. Let me ask you a simple question. Which of these cheeses have you tried? And how did your joints respond? Share your experience in the comments. I read every single one. It helps me understand you better and create videos that truly serve people over 50. If you'd like me to make another video showing how to combine cheese with 10 powerful anti-inflammatory foods to triple the benefits, just comment, "Doctor, I want the next video." And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Every week, I share strategies about nutrition for people over 50, natural habits that reduce inflammation, foods that support your bones, eyes, and memory, lifestyle changes that help you stay strong, flexible, and independent longer. A small change in the way you eat can create a big difference in the way you live, and I want to walk beside you on that journey. Before we end today's video, I'd like you to take just a few quiet seconds, just a few, to think about your own body. Ask yourself, how strong could my joints become if I start taking care of them the right way today? In more than 3 decades of practice, I've seen many things that made me stop and reflect. Not the complicated cases, not the rare diagnoses, but the simple, everyday moments. A 70-year-old man standing up from a chair without using his hands for the first time in years. An 83-year-old woman telling me she can walk out to her garden without her grandchildren holding her arm. A 76-year-old gentleman laughing as he says, "Doctor, this morning I climbed the stairs and forgot I used to be in pain." Those moments remind me, age is not a sentence. It's just a new chapter. And how you write this chapter is still in your hands. Our bodies never completely lose their ability to heal. They just run out of building materials, a bit short on good protein, missing a few key minerals, missing the small habits we once thought didn't matter. And sometimes, all it takes is adding 1 spoonful of the right cheese to your breakfast, or slightly changing the way you combine foods, and your body begins to send you signals. "Hey, my joints feel better this morning. My hands aren't as stiff. I feel lighter when I walk." You don't have to change your whole life overnight. You just need to change one meal, one day, one small choice at a time. And I truly believe, deep down, that whether you're 55, 65, or 85, your joints can become more flexible, stronger, and far less painful than they are today. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this video. I'm Dr. David Warren, and I'll be right here, walking with you on the journey to reclaim comfort in every step, every morning, and every precious moment of your life.